Good morning, my lovers, soul fam, boo-boos, all of you. I'm always switching it up as to what you are called. This morning, what can I say? I didn't have a lot of sleep. And I was driving the kiddo to school. On the way back, this song came on and it was like, all-consuming fire, come breathe the fire upon my heart until you and I are one. In terms of allowing yourself to become one with the divine, to become one with God, your creator, to become one with spirit, to be set ablaze. And I was like, ooh, let me be a fire that becomes one with divinity, to be a flame, to burn things down, to set things ablaze, to set a fire in you and all those around you. To be a flame, to consume, all-consuming fire, to be the breath of divinity, to be the voice of divinity, to just be so connected to, I can feel it, it's tangible and it's exciting, and call me crazy, I don't care, I feel something today. There's a fire that is burning in me that's like, put me on the logs, put me on the dry grass and watch me set things ablaze. And that's not me saying, look at me. We're all capable of this. We all need to be set on fire. No mediocre. I always want to cuss, but I probably shouldn't. No mediocre. Enough. Why are you playing it small? Why are you downplaying who you are? Tree people, what is this all about? I'm going to read this intuitively. This is about connections when I look at that. Look at all these interconnect. You've got a little face on this card and you've got little swirls and you've got the owl. All that represents wisdom to me. This is being connected. You, channel, you are being connected and integrated into new circles of friendships, new communities. And there is wisdom within this thing that you're being connected to. You are hearing the wisdom. It's sitting there on that branch looking as if it's not doing much, just kind of there. But wisdom cries out in the marketplace, it says. Wisdom is something that is, what is it? Wisdom is to hear something and not just walk away. Wisdom is hearing something and putting action to what you know is true. Wisdom is hearing some crazy loon on the internet saying, set yourself on fire, and then going, okay, I'm gonna do that. Great mystery. There is a great mystery. Look at this beautiful lion here and the butterfly. Now the blue butterfly for me represents promises. It represents my mum that's passed on. That represents guidance. And also what I'm seeing when I'm looking at this card is the difference of the energies. Like a lion is fierce or a lioness is fierce. And yet you've got this delicate, almost paper thin little animal and it's resting on the lion. Woo. I just filled right now with something. Wow. There is a wild animal, a wild, fierce, bold, strong, courageous, raging fire within you. And yet, you're gentle as a dove. Be fierce and gentle. There are two energies that you hold, and holding the balance between those two is a work of art. There's been times when I've just taken the rage and the fire and be like, rah! Without that wisdom and without the delicacy of the gentleness of my words and my presence. It's taking those two energies and saying, I don't stand for much and I will not be told what to do, but I love you. And those two energies, when they're working together, are going to allow you to move through situations like you are a hot knife in butter, is what I'm hearing. When you learn to not, transmute, this one here, You alchemize. When you learn to take your negative experiences, yes, well, this is for someone, yes, they have not understood you. Yes, they have tried to corner you. Yes, they have said, we won't accept you with the changes that are taking place in your life. And it's made you angry. But take that anger and transmute it and say, I love you. And I understand that you only see me as one view or how I used to be. But I'm an evolving creature. And there's more of me to come. And with grace, send them love and keep doing you and keep shining and keep growing and keep coming to that place where you are the highest version of yourself. I want to tell you a little story, or just give you this little image. I am constantly in communication with my higher self, and she has literally guided me to the places that I'm in now. There was a time when I was left, my husband moved out and moved on, and I felt distraught, abandoned. Those of you that know me, I was left with 3 children, and I didn't know how I was going to financially sustain myself. There was a point where I didn't know where I was going to live. I was being kicked out of my home. I didn't have finances, but Spirit did amazing things. And during that time of grief, I would get up every morning and I'd go and unroll my yoga mat, and I'd meditate, and I'd start to develop this ritual of connecting on a daily basis to the divine, not knowing where I was going or what I was doing, but I'd been guided. My point was, there was this one time I was meditating and I had this vision of this woman covered in wolf, I think she had like wolf fur on around her shoulder, and she had like dreads, and she had like beads, and she looked very native, and she had a wolf next to her as like a spirit animal. And I felt inclined to pray to this woman. She looked so wise, and I was like, please help me and guide me. And she spoke very specifically to me about breaking out of my confines and breaking out of what I knew to be so limited. And she spoke about being limitless, and there's so much more to come and all this stuff. It wasn't until a few years later that I realized that person was me, and she was my higher self guiding me forwards. And she continues to guide me. And there's been moments where I've gone through times of therapy, and I've literally been led, like the breadcrumbs I spoke of yesterday, led down the path that leads me to the higher version of myself. And I will often communicate with her, me. And it's funny because I often see a very key aspect of her that doesn't quite match what my physicality looks like, or the energy of what she feels like. So I know there's always growth. And then I find myself stepping into that, and I'm like, oh, there was actually one time, right, I was wearing this white tunic down to the floor, and it had like a plique or like patterns on it. And then I'd forgotten about it. And then there was this key moment in my life, and I'd forgotten about this vision, and we were going on holiday, and I needed like a robe to put on over my swimsuit, like around the pool, and I chose this outfit. And when it arrived, it suddenly clicked, and I remembered, that's what I was wearing. That's what my higher self was wearing. And it was a very key moment where I'd had this sort of upgrade or transition, and there I was dressed in this robe that I'd seen in the future but hadn't thought of, in the moment of purchasing it. Coming back to my point, do not waste an ounce of your time and your energy on things that no longer serve you. It is time for you to step into your power. It is time for you to step into parts of you that you've been afraid to show. I often talk about the divine or the darker aspects of our personality, the things that we feel ashamed of, or the things that we feel, oh, we can't show that because we'll be embarrassed, or they won't like that. Who cares? If you know it's you, go and be that aspect of yourself and watch the abundance overflow. Things are coming for you. Beautiful, amazing things are coming. But you have to tell the universe that you're ready. Love you, boo-boos.